Good morning, class. Today we're going to talk about and demonstrate shading. Shading is the difference between the lightest lights and the darkest dark. This is what creates three-dimensionality on anything, any object that has light that is shining directly on it. So for today, I'll show you how to do this with your pencil. There's a range of light tone, mid-tones, and dark tones. And these are actually infinite. The first way that I want you to start is make sure you have a sharpened pencil, like so. And take your time, but you're going to start very light from the left-hand side. That would be the highlights, light tone. I'm using mostly the side of my pencil. Then I'm going to go gradually darker. Sometimes I need to layer it a little bit more, so that's my light middle tone, and here's my light darker tone. And then I'll keep on stretching it out. Again, I'm using the side of the pencil, sharpened pencil, to eventually get the dark tones. Now everything that exists in this world has a variety of light and dark tones. Just want to be very clear about that. When there's light emitting, sometimes some of the shades show more than others, like a darker tone could show more than others if there's dim lighting, or if it's a really bright sunny day, it could be a lot lighter tones, like a light tone here, or a highlight. So now I'm just kind of going back, starting with darkest dark, kind of layered again. And I'm always kind of adding layers is what I'm doing with my graphite pencil, so you need to be very patient. It's actually a really kind of soothing, meditative process. I'm just going very light. Even though I'm moving, I'm going thinking very light, like I'm tiptoeing a little bit with my pencil. That's one way to look at it. And over here, just gonna allow that to kind of get even lighter. So here, again, just barely skimming it over. And then over here, I'll just probably leave this area white, because that will be essentially a white tone. The highlight. This more or less is like a called the value scale, difference between darkest dark and lightest light, which is the highlight. And you can always go back. You want to do the best job you can to have like an equal percentage. Maybe about, this is a 10-step scale, so this is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want to make sure that there's about 10% difference within this 10-step scale if possible. I might actually get that a little later. Maybe this a little later too. Good. So this is called the highlight. Here's the shadows. And these are like the middle tones. So essentially what you guys are going to do today is we're just going to use a graphite pencil. It's a good way to start. I'm going to show you what you can do. You can either have your own object, but I think it's best to maybe follow these worksheets for now if you haven't had that much time and experience practicing your value scales. And I'm going to try to attempt doing a water droplet. So this is the example that I leave on the PowerPoint for you guys. But I want to actually show you in real time how I would demonstrate this. So, step 1, you want to draw a basic shape. It could be any kind of shape, doesn't have to be exactly the shapes that are on the worksheet. And then what you want to do is shade areas from dark to light and choose the direction of where the light is coming from. Once you choose that direction, it could be coming to the left-hand side, my left, right, top, whatever you decide, it should be consistent with the other raindrops. So from this example that I'm looking at from my worksheet, it looks like there's a highlight here, and then over here, there's like a gradation of another highlight here, and another highlight over here, as well as this way there. So, it looks like the light is kind of shining from this angle on that side, from the top. Alright, so now that I remembered my value scales, you want to basically create as many blends as you can with the difference between high contrast of a highlight and the darker contrast of the shadow. Okay, those are very important in order to have anything three-dimensional. Right now it's just shapes, there's no value. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to work in this darker shadow value. Take my time, use the side of my pencil. Work around that circle, smaller raindrop, highlight, so that should not be any tone. The highlight is the reflection. I'm using a variety of hard edges, which is more like a crisper edge, as well as a blended edge, which is a little bit more of a gradation between the values, a subtle one. I'm going to go a little lighter here, kind of like a middle range, a light middle range tone. Again, thinking lighter, still working in layers, but thinking a lot lighter in terms of pressure, because the pressure makes the huge difference between a really dark, middle tone, and a light tone. At some point, you could even use your eraser if you want, just to kind of blend a little bit. So you got a little lighter. You don't actually have to erase all of it. Maybe you just want a little blend. And sometimes you just stamp your eraser like that. It can get a little more even blend, and so it won't look as choppy. Because these raindrops, they do have characteristics of like a hard edge, but also soft edge tones too. I'm just thinking like a lighter tone now, so now I'm doing my job just to kind of get less mark making, like heavy scratchy marks. I want a little more smooth blend, so it does take time. Now I'm going to go for the cast shadow, which kind of comes out a bit more. And then again, you might want to go like a number 9. Bring that shadow out more. Slightly exaggerated. It's kind of nice to have these dramatic dark shadows. Adds a little more visual intrigue. It's nice also to tilt your paper as you're working. I'm left-handed, so sometimes I have to tilt my paper this way because my left hand tends to smudge quite a bit. Like when I'm actually working, I notice, oh my gosh, I got like some smudge on the side of my hand. What can I do? I'm going to try to go for more refined, heavier edge, so I'm going to crisp that up a bit, get heavy there, kind of outline it a little bit, just to show a little more of a dramatic difference between the shadow, the cast shadow, and the actual raindrop itself. Okay. And sometimes even with the dark shadow, it's not just necessarily a number 10 value. It could actually have a gradation, which it looks like this has a subtle, like, later middle shadow here. So it looks like I'm like a shape. I'm going to go for that too. Great, so that's kind of it. That's one of my raindrops. I'm going to try the other one later, but this is kind of how you get started. Have fun. Take it easy.